A very warm welcome to you, Max and Maria, and thank you both for joining me in the studio today. For those watching, my name is Sarah Hosseini, Global Head of Partnerships and Philanthropic Engagement at the World Economic Forum, and I'm delighted to be your host. At the forum, Gaia, which stands for Giving to Amplify Earth Action, is our effort to bring together catalytic actors, corporates, and governments to shape a new generation of partnerships. Partnerships that not only unlock sustainable markets, but also support resilient growth through blended capital models. To showcase what this looks like in action, we actually launched the GAEA Awards last year, which celebrates these much-needed innovative partnerships. And I'm pleased to say this year's awardees are outstanding examples of this vision. They were selected through a rigorous process led by an exceptional jury of experts. And today, I'm thrilled to be joined by two of those jury members, Max, the Global Head of Philanthropy at Lombardorier, and Maria, the Chief Executive Officer of Women Business Coalition. First, we will hear from Maria and Max about their reflections on the awardees and the significance of these initiatives we are celebrating today. After that, we will meet our winners live online for the very first time, which I'm super excited about. But before we begin, we have a special message from one of our Gaia co-chairs, actress and UNDP Goodwill Ambassador, Michelle Yeoh, who unfortunately couldn't be with us in the studio today, but wanted to personally congratulate this year's awardees.
As the world gathered in Belém for COP30, it was a powerful moment, a reminder that progress for people and the planet must always go hand in hand. As co-chair of Gaia, I am so proud to celebrate partnerships that are redefining what progress looks like, grounded in care for nature, equity, and shared prosperity. This year's Gaia awardees truly embody that spirit. The Lancet Countdown, turning science into policy that protects human health and our climate. The Plastics Pact Network, transforming waste into value through collective accountability. Canopy, proving that protecting forests and scaling innovation can go hand in hand. And the Sustainable Sovereign Debt Hub, reimagining global finance to serve people and the planet. And the Self-Employed Women's Association, empowering women to lead the clean energy transition and creating resilience and dignity from ground up. Each of these change makers remind us that progress is possible when we lead with courage, collaboration, and compassion. They show that the solutions already exist, that working together, we can build a future where both people and nature thrive. My heartiest congratulations to all the Gaia awardees. You are lighting the path towards a more equitable, sustainable, and hopeful world. Thank you, and congratulations again.
Well, thank you, Michelle, for such a heartfelt message for our awardees. I'm sure that they appreciate this message. So with no further ado, I would like to actually start the conversation with our jury members here as I introduce them to get some of their reflections through this process and journey that we have been on. Maria, I would like to start with you, if that's okay. We live in quite an extraordinary times, and given the current socioeconomic context, what do you think is the significance of programs like Gaia Awards in the day and age that we live in?
Thank you, Sadaf. In today's turbulent socioeconomic moment marked by rising inequality, geopolitical uncertainty, and accelerating climate impacts, the Gaia Awards carry a special significance. They remind us what courageous leadership is still possible and urgently needed. For us at the Women Business Coalition, the awards reinforce exactly what is needed today. Solutions for people and the planet. to strengthen the transformation, resilience, and competitiveness of industries. The GAEA Awards winners show what it looks like when leaders turn ambition into action, into real progress. Their examples help rebuild trust at a time when people are questioning whether transformative change is still achievable, and it highlights that the shift to a cleaner, more affordable and reliable climate and sustainability world is an imperative and a social opportunity. So as we celebrate these champions, we are also celebrating the power of collaboration and the proof that a fair, net zero and sustainable economy is within reach if we choose to lead. So thank you, Sadaf, and it has been a true privilege to serve on the Gaia jury again this year.
The privilege has been definitely ours, and thank you for your contribution on that front. So Max, as a member of the jury experts that we had, I'm sure it was a tough task, to choose from the finalists. And I would love to understand a little bit from you, what sort of expectations did you have when you were going through basically the selection, and what guided your decision at the end?
Thank you. First of all, great to be here, and frankly, this is super exciting. And I hope everyone who watches the work of the winners will actually see that this is the kind of world we need to build. This year, the award received over 100 nominations from across the world, reflecting really the breadth of collaboration happening across sectors. Now, imagine the challenge, but from these, 15 remarkable finalists were shortlisted, as shown on the screen, and what stood out to all of us in the jury was their spirit of partnership and systems thinking, tackling big challenges through collaboration, not competition. And as a jury, we were looking for initiatives that are driving systemic transformation, not just isolated success stories on their own, and bringing together diverse partners from business, government, to philanthropy and civil society, but with one shared commitment to build long-term change together. And this requires, of course, delivering measurable, scalable impact with models that can actually inspire replication globally, uphold the principles of a just and equitable transition, and ensuring that this progress benefits people and the planet alike. So, as you may imagine, it was hard work, thanks to the wonderful candidates. But ultimately, what tipped our decision was a balance of rigor, reach, and relevance. Rigor in terms of evidence and execution, reach in collaboration and in scale, and relevance in terms of influencing real systems and shift mindsets. I think we can say today that the 5 awardees truly embody these qualities. And what unites all of them, in spite of the differences in their work, is the conviction that collaboration is today our most powerful lever for change. And that ultimately is, I think, what the Gaia Awards are all about. Partnerships that turn ambition into action for people and planet.
I love that. Thank you so much. I think it's the power of collaboration and what drives the change that we all actually aiming for. So I think this is the exciting moment. These are very important reflections, and with no further ado, I think it is good to dive in, to showcase actually who are our finalists and then the awardees. So the way that the session is going to unfold, Max and Maria are going to help me to introduce the awardees and some of the conversations that happen at the jury level. And then we invite every awardee to actually join us online and have 2 minutes to talk about what collaboration or partnerships they most urgently need to support their success and progress. So, Max, if that's okay, I would like to first start with you. Please give us the honor of opening the awardee announcements. Over to you for the first one.
Total pleasure. I mean, we all know that, evidence is important, but evidence is even more important if it can actually lead to action. And that's the idea behind the first awardee. The Lancet Countdown on Health and Climate is a global collaboration of more than 300 scientists representing over 100 institutions around the world. And together, they produce harmonized indicators that connect the dots between climate change and human health, making the science clearer, the risks more tangible, and the policy implications impossible to ignore. The Countdown team works hand in hand with UN agencies, development banks, and civil society, and its data-informed COP negotiations, nationally determined contributions, and national health strategies, thus ensuring that climate action is also health action. With more than 2,400 policy citations and 6 regional hubs, the Lancet Countdown has transformed the way we track the links between climate and health, building capacity in countries, driving investment, and advancing equitable, resilient, and evidence-based climate action. The jury was particularly impressed as the Lancet Countdown is a true leader in translating science into policy, working right at the intersection of the Sustainable Development Goals, Sustainable Development Goal 3 on health and Goal 13 on climate. So thus, heartfelt congratulations from all of us in the jury, I think from everyone really, to the Lancet Countdown team. And with that, over to you, Marina, to share your reflections, and congratulations. What an achievement.
Thank you so much, Max, and thank you to all the Gaia panel for this nomination. We're beyond delighted to be here with you and to receive this award. As you just laid out, the Lancet Countdown is a big research collaboration. We work with about 300 researchers from around the world, and our bread and butter is getting the best available science to do an annual system of monitoring of the risks of climate change to health and on the health opportunities of climate action, and importantly, translating that to inform policies. So far, we have managed to establish a really robust global system of monitoring of climate change and health, with regional hubs as well that do so also at the regional level. We have good partnerships with the World Health Organization, one of our strategic partners. We work with UN agencies and with civil society from around the world. But there's still a lot more that we could do, and we hope that this award will help us get there. And as part of that, for example, we're looking to expand what we can do in terms of monitoring, ensuring that our monitoring system can capture the risks and the opportunities being faced by the most vulnerable populations around the world, knowing that there's huge data gaps and knowledge gaps in terms of how climate change is affecting some of the world's most vulnerable and most overlooked populations. So partnerships with those that are in a good position to enhance data collection mechanisms and improve our reporting will be incredibly valuable. On the other hand, we're also looking to increasing the partnerships that can help our evidence better inform health protective climate action. And that looks like more closer partnerships, particularly with local governments, where oftentimes these policies happen, but also with civil society or private sector organizations that we know have such huge capacity and power to drive progress and drive action on the ground as well. So anyone that can get evidence, do informed, science-informed policies and interventions are the ones that we're looking to partner with.
Well done, 2 minutes. Thank you so much, Marina. Excellent work, and again, congratulations from all of us, as Max mentioned. So, Maria, I would like to come back to you to introduce the second winner, please.
Yeah, thank you. It's my pleasure to introduce the winner of the Enabling Innovation Breakthrough, which is the Plastic Pact Network. It brings together more than 900 organizations across 13 national and regional pacts in 19 countries. So all working towards a circular economy for plastics. Convened by the Waste and Resource Action Program, the network drives cross-sector collaboration connecting businesses, government, NGOs, and informal waste workers. Together, they are having bold action to eliminate plastic waste through shared targets on design, reuse, and recycling. And the results speak for themselves. The network has eliminated 33 billion single-use items, redesigned 850,000 tons of packaging, and improved livelihoods of waste pickers worldwide. It has also avoided 2.2 million tons of virgin plastics and continues to expand its measurable global impact. As the jury noted, the Plastic Pact Network has demonstrated proven long-term and measurable impact across the global plastics value chain. Congratulations again to Catherine, and with that, over to you to share some of your insights.
Thank you so much. It was back in 2018 that the team at WRAP stood alongside our partners to launch the UK Plastics Pact, the first ever plastics pact that kickstarted our journey. And at that point, we said we could go fast alone or we could achieve more and go further together. And this remains true today. And I am delighted to represent a network of over 13 partners working across 19 countries globally and accept this award on behalf of all of us. Collaboration is at the heart of the Global Plastics Pact Network. We can only drive systemic change on plastics by partnering with a huge number of organisations, including over 900 businesses globally, including national and global businesses from the entire plastics value chain. Also NGOs representing groups such as the informal waste sector in the Global South, who centre livelihoods and a just transition as part of that network. And of course, our 13 Pact partners, local leaders from France to South Africa and from Canada to Colombia, who bring their deep industry knowledge and captain and coordinate the change in their country. And just to note that 11 out of those 13 local partners are female-led. And I notice and celebrate today the number of women being recognised in these awards with collaboration at their heart. In the Global Plastic Pact Network, we have a proven impact and effective model, redesigning not just products, but whole systems and achieving a lot of impact together. But there are 3 types of partnership we'd like to grow even further. Firstly, national and global businesses. We're working with 900. We'd love to take that to 1,000 and more. Secondly, new sector partnerships to help us innovate technology, finance and investment. And finally, philanthropy and funders. Come help us supercharge our activity between now and 2030. Together we can go further and tackle plastic pollution. Thank you.
Thank you, Catherine. Very clear ask, and I hope that our audience will respond, to that ask, because it's a powerful network that you have created. Again, congratulations. Max, over to you for the third winner.
Thank you very much. One of the things I personally love about the GAEA Awards is how holistic they are. Do you see this unfolding in the different categories? So now we're moving to basically moving business for climate impact. And Canopy actually is the winner, is a global nonprofit that's changing how the paper, packaging, and textile industries work to protect the world's forests and help stabilize our climate. They partner with more than 1,000 brands, together representing over $2.1 trillion in revenue to shift away from forest-based materials toward what they call next-generation solutions, low carbon, circular materials that are made from agricultural and textile waste. That's really exciting. Through collaborative financing, policy engagement, and supply chain reform, Canopy has already helped protect 16.6 million hectares of forest and unlocked more than $78 billion in investment potential, paving the way for a just, nature-positive, and climate-resilient materials economy. Now, that's major, And as the GAEA Awards jury put it, because it was really hard work to think through who was the most deserving, Canopy is truly global, cross-sectoral, and adaptable to other supply chains. That's really important. With over 1,000 brand partners and measurable results, it's driving real systemic change across fashion, packaging, and publishing, making it one of the most mature and scalable models that we've seen. So thank you, Nicole. Congratulations to you and your team for this highly impactful work. We're absolutely thrilled to have you as one of our awardees. And please, share some of your insights with us.
Thank you, Max, and thank you to the entire Gaia team. We are so thrilled to be a Gaia awardee, and especially alongside such an esteemed company. As you mentioned, to meet climate and biodiversity goals, we have to accelerate the transition of paper and packaging and viscose supply chains away from endangered forests to low-impact next-gen alternative inputs. and the solutions exist, and partnerships and collective action will be foundational to us unlocking commercial production of next-gen, and in doing so, ending deforestation. And we have 3 partnership priorities. First, brands. Now, as you mentioned, we currently work with more than 1,000 large corporate customers of viscose and paper supply chains. To scale next-gen solutions, we need more senior executives to mandate their teams to collaborate with suppliers to bring low-carbon alternatives into their materials, and when next-gen capacity comes online, to buy it. Market pull-through is foundational to unlocking finance and motivating conventional producers to change business as usual, and it will give brands early access to circular inputs as regulations tighten and as wood supply becomes riskier. Secondly, we need investors. We need to mobilize $78 billion in investment into next-gen infrastructure over the next 8 years. Materials represent 30% of the climate solution and currently only receive less than 3% of impact investment. So we need to mobilize the full stack of capital, from catalytic to multilaterals to private equity, to build the industrial ecosystem. Materials are where energy was a decade ago. Huge climate impact, very little finance, and investors who recognize that will have first mover advantage. And then thirdly, philanthropists. Philanthropy supports the work that no single company or investor can carry alone. Sector-wide roadmaps, early validation of tech, supporting ecosystem enablers like Canopy to create the conditions for change. And it's these 3 partnerships, brand signaling demand, investors financing infrastructure, and philanthropy, smoothing the path that will enable Canopy to scale next-gen within the decade, and in doing so, relieve pressure on forests and build more resilient supply chains for the future.
Thank you, Nicole. Congratulations to you and the team and Canopy for a brilliant work. As you said, materials are not looked at as such, and this is incredible that you're ahead of the curve, looking at the partnerships that are going to enable actually the future of the materials. Again, congratulations. Maria, over to you for the 4th winner, please.
Yeah, thanks so much. And it's quite impressive to have so many women, that are leading this incredible collaboration. So well done, not only for what you do, but also the role model that you represent for the women around the world. So the winner for unlocking capital at scale is the Sustainable Sovereign Debt Hub. It's bringing together a powerful mix of partners to reimagine how countries finance their futures. It's a global platform working to transform the $92 trillion sovereign debt market by building sustainability-linked instruments directly into global finance. As a neutral convener, the hub brings government, investors, development banks, and technical partners around one table, aligning them to integrate climate, nature, and resilience into sovereign financing. Through tools like the Financial Materiality Assessment and the SOPTech, the hub helps countries design performance-based debt structures. And through initiatives such as the Task Force on Credit Enhancement and the London Coalition, it's advancing innovation like climate-resilient debt clauses, new ideas that help countries manage shocks while staying on track with their sustainability goals. Now, here's what the jury had to say. We have already seen that potential in action with countries like Slovenia and Côte d'Ivoire issuing sustainability-linked bonds and debt for development swaps. That's a real signal that this model could help more countries, especially low-income ones, to unlock new streams of climate finance. So congratulations, Barbara, and the entire team. Incredible work. And with that, over to you to share some of your insights.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Maria, and the whole GAEA Award team and the expert jury. We are really honored and grateful to have this opportunity and with this great cohort. As you mentioned, the SSCH was launched at COP27 with the sole purpose to scale up sustainable sovereign debt through innovative solutions that can help addressing the triple crisis faced by emerging markets and developing countries of rising sovereign debt, dealing with climate change, and tackling the advancing nature loss. So sustainability-linked sovereign debt can help address these challenges by rewarding positive climate, nature, and social outcomes with the lower debt repayment costs for the country. We are a hub, as the name says. We are a multi-stakeholder convening venue. We bring together key actors, as mentioned before, like the whole sustainable debt ecosystem, from institutional investors to multilateral development banks to governments, to drive coordinated action and collaboration. So to scale and accelerate even further our initiative, we urgently need 3 categories of partnerships. First of all, strategic government partnership in emerging market countries. We need strong partnership with ministries and regulators to embed our approach in national policies, to align it with national priorities, accelerate adoption, and secure essential enablers like data access and institutional support. We need technical and research collaboration, universities, think tanks, technical experts to strengthen our analytics and co-develop robust solutions based on high-quality data. And finally, we need finance and implementation partners. We need the whole financial sector to participate. To expand the impact, we really need partnership with development banks, donors, investors, and local implementers to mobilize resources, co-finance pilots, and scale solutions so that they deliver real benefits for the communities and the local ecosystem. Thank you.
Thank you, Barbara and the team. Congratulations on the hard work that you're doing. Definitely innovative and definitely much needed. Thank you for that. And Max, the last but not least announcement.
Thank you so much. I have to say, we all know that ultimately people create change, people and communities. And so it's very befitting that we have a category called Empowering Voices to Shape Action. And there could be really no organization fitting better than this year's winner, GAEA in India. GAEA is empowering thousands of low-income women, salt farmers, to lead their own clean energy transition, one that's fair, inclusive, and community-driven. By replacing diesel pumps with solar-powered systems owned by women's cooperatives, self-employed women's associations, GAEA is helping women become trained solar engineers, entrepreneurs, and decision makers, taking charge not only of their livelihoods, but also of their future. Through partnerships with the IFC, UNEP, the Bank of Baroda, and India's Ministry of New and Renewable Energy, the initiative is cutting over 18,000 tons of CO2 every year and has boosted women's incomes by as much as 600%, showing that gender equity and climate resilience can grow hand in hand through inclusive innovation. And as the jury shared, the story of GAEA really touched our hearts and our minds as well. It's frankly amazing, because GAEA offers a solution to a group of women who is often neglected and marginalized. And as such, this solution should be scalable to benefit many other social groups who are isolated and seemingly without hope. GAEA brings about decades of systemic change in labor markets for women, combining scale, dignity, and equity. It's proving that the informal workforce can be a powerful engine of change. And I have to say, I've followed the work of GAEA for decades. I'm absolutely proud and delighted that you've won now. So thank you, GAEA. Congratulations again. And Rima, over to you. And of course, all your colleagues and teams. We look forward to hearing from you. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. And let me begin by saying that poverty is also a form of violence, which is further compounded by the climate crisis that the women workers in the informal economy have been fighting to earn dignity and justice. And I'm very grateful to Gaia and to IHRB as well, because this facilitation is not just of the 3.2 million women workers in the informal economy, all members of GAEA, but of the informal sector workers across the globe who are trying to build green livelihoods and green skills, to build resilience of their communities under the leadership of these women workers. This is what we call just transition or green transition under women's leadership that brings dignity and self-respect. I think the women will continue spearheading the climate action, building cleaner skies. And the first and the foremost partnership at the core is to be one with the nature, which we call is Hum Sab Ek, which means we are all one with the nature. And I think by building an economy of nurturance, which will help them fight poverty, climate crisis, and build resilience. The second partnership that we are looking for in order to build an economy of nurturance is to build a global blended finance facility, which will accelerate and enable millions of women workers achieve second freedom, economic freedom, which will bring dignity and self-respect. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Rima. Congratulations to you and the team for, again, much needed initiative that you're working on, and definitely the power of women and the labor market that we have is incredible. So thanks for all the great work. I would like to say, what a cohort. Really, from the bottom of my heart, I would like to again thank you, Max and Maria, for being here with me in the studio as a representative of our jury members. And once again, my warmest congratulations to all our Gaia awardees. What I would like to share is that each of you truly embody the spirit of Gaia Awards, showing how innovation, collaboration, and courage can drive systemic change. Your work is a powerful reminder of what's possible when evidence, creativity, and strong partnerships come together to deliver a real impact. As we celebrate today, this is really the beginning of this journey. It's a new chapter, and awardees will embark on a one-year program with us, doubling down on the strength of the World Economic Forum to support them in their growth and scale journey. I also want to extend my heartfelt thanks to our jury, our shortlisting anchors, our nominators, and the entire Gaia Awards community, and also the Gaia Awards team for their dedication and support. As we are here for celebrating partnerships, this has been also a very holistic partnerships in all fronts. So together, this is my, let's say, ask and invitation. Let's continue to champion these change makers to make sure we build a prosperous future for our people and planet. So thank you all for being part of this celebration and journey.